Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5 Minute Tech channel. Today we will be talking about AI Agentic learning path. We will be going through a detailed explanation and lot of learning resources. So let's get started. So this is the learning path tree in which we will be going through 9 phases. The first one to begin with is the programming and the prompting foundation, and that involves learning about Python programming, APIs, file handling, async, and then the prompt engineering, chain of thought, goal oriented, and web scraping and data handling. These are some of the parts of your programming and prompting foundation, which will be the first phase of learning Agentic AI. The next phase is the Agentic AI DNA, in which we talk about or we learn about agent types, which is either autonomous or self-autonomous. Then we have core architectures, which is React, AutoGPT, and Camel. Then we have different protocols. Some of them are MCP and A2A. The next learning stage is called LLMs and APIs, where you learn about the LLMs and different APIs which they provide. For example, the proprietary models, which is GPT-4, Cloudy, and Gemini, whereas there are certain open source models like Llama, Mistral, and DeepSeek. Function calling through these LLMs and the tool used in these LLMs is also one of the learning areas, along with how you do a rate limits and authentication on the LLM. The next phase is phase 4, which talks about agent architecture pattern, in which we learn about single agent and the tools which can be used with it. Then the sequential agent and the hierarchical multi-agent system, router based systems in which agents based on the route are called, and then the human in loop when we call the agents. So this is this phase 4. The next phase is phase 5, which is called agent framework, in which we should learn about LangChain, AutoGen, QAI, LangGraph, and multi-agent orchestration. Now these will help us learn thoroughly about the agent framework. The next one is the memory and RAG system, which includes your vector databases, which some of them are Pinecone, VV8, FAISS, Chroma. Chroma being the more predominant and heavily used one. Then we have RAG pipelines, which we can design for our RAG implementation, document indexing and chunking for our embeddings, and then the long-term memory. These are part of the phase 6, that is memory and RAG system. The phase 7 will be workflow orchestration, in which we should learn about automation tools like N8N, Make, and Zapier, along with some of the events trigger and the DAGs. The guardrails are also part of the workflow orchestration. Production and governance is something when you take the agentic AI systems into production, and how do you govern its usage is through deployment of using Fast API, Docker, and Kubernetes or Kubernetes. When monitoring can be done through Langsmith, Prometheus, or Grafana. Security and compliance is through RBAC and privacy. Red teaming and safety are part of the way you govern the production system. And then the evaluation and feedback loop is part of the production deployed environment. The phase 9 is this career specialization, which you can pick after these learnings, and that could be an agent workflow developer or an AI tool integrator, AI infrastructure engineer, multi-model AI developer, domain specific agent creator, autonomous agent researcher. So these are some of the career specialization which you can pick from and learn about it.